Okay, so this is the Mulatto rapper Vic Mensa, who is half Ghanaian and half European or white American. Now, were he to stand on the corner yelling that he is an Israelite, or were he to say he is an indigenous copper colored American, I'm pretty sure either of those cults would claim him if they did not know that in the case of the Hebrew Israelites that his father is Ghanaian, and I guess they would have to argue over whether or not his dad was one of those Hamites, as they call Africans, because when you mix European and African together, this is the complexion and features you get, and this is what a lot of African Americans look like because of basically African Americans having mulatto ancestry. I'm not saying that all African Americans are his complexion and have features as he does, but many of us do. And that is why you have all these memes, these anti-African memes, which contrast African Americans with darker, you want to say pure Africans, and then say that we are not Africans, and people talking about their indigenous and copper color, because you can see that his skin tone is closer to the color of copper. Now, I'm going to show something else that is interesting to me and perhaps to others who will happen to look upon this video. Okay, so now this is an American soccer player named Oguchi Onyewu, who is from the Igbo tribe. Both of his parents are from the Nigerian Igbo tribe, and they are known for having a high occurrence of relatively light-skinned people. And the Igbo were one of the tribes that were enslaved due to tribal wars that they had back in the 16 and 1700s, and even into the 1800s. You had a lot of Igbo who were transported to the Caribbean, especially to Jamaica, and also many Igbo were transported to North America, primarily to Virginia. And because of that, this is one of the reasons why a lot of African Americans are lighter than a lot of, I'm going to say, other Afro descended people. So you can be light skinned because of having some Igbo admixture, or you can be light skinned because of having European admixture, such as I showed you before, the rapper Vic Mensa. So we see this is Oguchi Onyewu, and this is Vic Mensa. We have Oguchi, and we have Mensa. We also show you what are known as Biafrans or Biafrans. Now, Biafra is where someone from a web site dealing with human phenotypes decided to create a name Biafra to describe what is often the Igbo phenotype, and basically it's called Biafrit from Biafra plus the suffix id, meaning belonging to or descended from, because of the uh, Republic of Biafra, Biafra being a region of southeastern Nigeria, basically the Igbo homeland, which the Igbo tried to succeed from Nigeria in the 1960s, the late 60s, but that didn't go where they had a war with the rest of Nigeria, the Nigerian Civil War or the Biafra War, where many Igbo suffered greatly. There was a lot of starvation and death, and it didn't go so well with them trying to do that, and now they're reintegrated into Nigeria, but there are many Igbo who agitate for recreating or from reseceding, I guess this time successfully, from Nigeria and recreating the Republic of Biafra. But this is what many of them look like, and you can see that going by complexion, and you still have, I guess, you describe as African features. This is what a lot of African Americans look like, and we're having these features. It's not because of being descended from copper colored indigenous Black American Moors or Hebrews or anything of that anything like that. Okay, so now this is an African American man, and I admit I cherry picked this picture because I could have chosen somebody darker, but this is just simply to illustrate the similarity in complexion between this African American man who has two African American parents and this Nigerian man who has two Nigerian parents, and this Ghanaian American mulatto who has one European parent and one African parent. So if you're closer to his complexion and you are quote unquote black, it's either because you have European ancestry, most likely, or you perhaps have some ancestry from the Igbo people or a neighboring tribe, and that's what you get. So it's Igbo or mulatto. So again, Igbo or mulatto, which produces the